and a huge welcome to the Entrepreneur's Circus, where we don't just talk business, we talk about the real, messy, chaotic life behind the scenes. I'm your host, Charlotte Wibberley, ready to dive headfirst into the sea of highs, lows, and everything in between that comes with being a parent running a business while also wrestling with the other curveballs that life throws our way. So grab yourself a cuppa, or better yet, pour yourself a gin. It's time to gear up for raw, unfiltered chats with fellow business owners navigating the high wire of being a CEO, the juggling act of parenting, and the merry mess that accompanies it all. This is entrepreneurship in its glorious chaos. Hello there and welcome back to the Entrepreneur Circus. You guys have got me again today. I am flying solo and I'm here with a quick hit talking you through how you can go from invisible to infamous. So this is all around why your audience is absolutely everything in your business. So when I first started in business, I remember my mentor at the time saying to me, there's one thing, Charlotte, there's one thing that is going to help take you from being unknown to being completely invisible to being that go-to person to, being the natural choice. And it isn't going to be a shiny new sales page. It's not going to be perfect tech. It's not even going to be the best offer. And she at the time, I remember like kind of brushing it off and thinking, well, yeah, whatever. But she at the time outlined to me why having a really specific, engaged audience was going to be the backbone of mine and actually any online business. And, over the years, that's become so important and rung so true to me. If we're not in front of the right people, we're not going to sell anything. And we've all been there, right? We've all been there where we've poured hours into creating the perfect launch, the perfect offer, the perfect funnel, tweaking our websites, doing all of those things, only to hear crickets when push comes to shove. And it isn't that our stuff's not good. It's not that we don't know what we're talking about. It's that nobody or not the right people are seeing it. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about briefly today is, getting you to understand the importance of your audience, but also getting to, know exactly why your audience is this most important asset. And also to think about those first steps to growing an audience that's going to convert for you without wasting time on the things in your business that just don't matter. So we've talked about why not having that shiny funnel, perfect sales page is going to be the silver bullet. But if you think about your audience, or you think about it like shouting into an empty room, you have this amazing thing that you want to share with the right people. You can make a difference. You know that you can transform them from the problem that they're suffering with or whatever's lacking for them in their business or their lives to giving them this transformation, to giving them what they want at the end. But if you are in that empty room and you are shouting loud, it does not matter how loud you are shouting or how much of the right stuff you're saying. There's nobody to hear it and it's not going to matter. And you're not ultimately going to make sales, or, your business is not going to do what it needs to do. And so your goal is to get people inside of that room. More people in that room, more people inside of your audience is going to mean more people to hear it and more conversions. And it really is that simple. If people have told you it's more complicated than that, then maybe they're selling stuff around audience stuff. But you know what? And I do sell stuff around audience stuff, but it really is that simple. Getting more people in your room means that you are going to make more money. You're going to get more conversions. The other thing to bear in mind with this is that it's really important around the quality of people that you have in there. Because again, having an audience of really disengaged people that aren't interested in what it is that you do or sell, is actually no better than having no people in there at all. So you need to make sure that when you're building this audience, when you're inviting people into your room, that you're doing so with the right people, not just, it's not a numbers game. It's about getting the numbers in, but the right people. And email lists is something that you guys that have been in my audience, my room for a while, will know I talk about a lot, because social media can be precarious. It's not reliable. Platforms disappear, algorithms change, stuff goes down, but your email list belongs to you. It's yours. It's direct access to your audience. And if they've joined your email list, they have already probably qualified themselves through one of your lead magnets as someone that is interested in what you do. So it's going to be the highest converting tool that you'll have in your business. I think email lists convert typically around 4 times better than social media. So it really is worth investing in building your audience, filling your room on your email list as well. And if you guys have ever heard of the 80-20 rule, you might have done, you might not. So let me break it down. As online business owners, we should be spending a whopping 80% of our time building our audience, marketing to people, creating rapport, and giving value. That sounds like a really scary number. And when somebody told me that the first time, I was like, shit, that is a lot of time. And the other 20% as business owners, we should be spending on selling. Too often, people are spending all of their time crafting offers, running ads, but they're not doing the forethought of building the actual audience up front. Whereas you need to make sure you've got those people inside of your room so you can then sell to them. If you're trying to sell to everybody willy-nilly, scattergun spaghetti at the wall style, you're not going to make the conversions either. And I know that it's not, building your audience, getting people onto your email list isn't as instantly gratifying as making that sale, that hit where we say like, yes, somebody signed up to it, or launching something shiny, but the sales are gonna come from that engaged audience. So if you are sitting there thinking, I feel seen, Charlotte, and you've been neglecting your audience growth, you are cutting off that pipeline that's going to fuel your business. So if your sales are your lifeblood, then your marketing and your audience building are going to fuel that potential to be able to make those sales as well. And when it comes to building the rapport and value with your audience, it doesn't just mean being present with them. It's about being present with them and giving them value. So are you actually helping them to solve their problems? Are you answering any key questions that they have? Are you making them feel seen and understood, like standing up going, yes, Charlotte gets the exact way that I'm feeling right now. And she also understands where I'm trying to get to. And this is what's going to be what makes them stick around and ultimately what makes them buy. Let me just talk for a second as well about the power of your community, but also a bit around sort of conversion. So you will find that as a business owner, you will have a conversion rate. If you've been looking at your data, and if you're in my audience and you haven't been looking at your data, guys, come on, drop me a line. Let's look at your data. It's not as scary as it seems. But you will find that you have a typical conversion rate, whether that's around a funnel or that's your launch conversion rate average. And that can be, I guess that would typically be around 2% for a sort of cold audience, 1 to 2% cold audience as a sort of benchmark. But some people convert much, much higher than that. And some people also convert lower than that. But whether you are converting at 1%, 5%, 10%, 20%, all of it comes down to the numbers. So a 1% conversion rate on a list of 1,000 people is still only 10 sales. But on a list of 10,000 people, it's 100 sales. It goes back to understanding your conversion rates, tracking your data, understanding your conversion rates can really help you to understand the likely outcomes you're going to have at the end. And, you're going to be putting the same effort in to a launch or a funnel, regardless if you have 1,000 people or 10,000 people in that audience. But with a bigger audience, it's going to be same effort, but bigger results. And going beyond those numbers, it's not just about growing an email list. It's about creating that community feel. You want people to feel connected to you and trust you and are excited to hear from you. So that is what's going to turn that sort of email list, those numbers, into that loyal, ready to buy audience. So, I want you to stop overcomplicating it. If you're sitting there thinking, yeah, but there's all these things, these barriers to overcome, we will always, particularly if you're ADHD, if you have other things going on, it's easy for us to find excuses not to do the thing, not to swallow the frog, and to, focus on the wrong things, like get stuck tweaking the font on our sales pages, if that's you, redesigning your logo, whatever it is. But none of that is actually going to help you build your audience. Instead, focusing on those actions that are going to grow your list, creating lead magnets, putting those out there, talking on social media, having a plan around it as well, the strategy. How are you going to be able to collaborate with people to get in front of their audience? How are you giving more consistent value to your audience? Creating that plan that's going to help you to build that audience on multiple levels is really going to help as well. So for example, for me, I email my list every single week, but I also have a podcast. I'm out there on socials. I speak in guest groups about what I do. And there's like a multi-layered strategy there to hopefully get me in front of other people's audiences and build my own audience as well. It's not a one and done task, building your audience. It's something that you need to do on a consistent basis, week in, week out. Remember that 80-20 rule. But if you do that, you will start to see the numbers growing. I also just want to talk very quickly about unsubscribes. I get a lot of my clients that are going, oh my God, I've put this new thing out and I've just had a shit ton of unsubscribes. Unsubscribes can be a really good thing. And I'll tell you for why. You do not want people on your email list that do not want to hear from you and are not going to buy from you and are not interested in what you have to sell. You want those people that really resonate with the problem that you solve and the transformation, and are, the way that you communicate with them, they really resonate with you. You want those people. So the people that aren't aligned with that, actually them going is a really good thing, because it means that you are then being more focused in the way that you market. So hopefully you guys have listened to this and have realized from what I've been saying that your audience really is, I guess, like the heart of your business, the beating heart of your business. Without your audience and without an engaged, true audience, nothing else is going to fall into place. So if you are right at the beginning of this, I want you to start focusing on how you can best build and grow your audience consistently, how you can start to get towards that 80-20 rule, and how you can also start to continue that rapport with them. Or if you already have an audience, how can you get back in touch with them, re-engage with them, and start on a consistent basis to give them value and communicate and build that like and know and trust factor. So hopefully you guys are now with me on the audience building bandwagon. Thanks for joining me for this episode of the Entrepreneur Circus podcast, and I will be back next week with a guest episode, so tune in and join me then. Thanks guys, see you later, bye.
That's it for today. If something sparked your interest or you have a story that needs sharing, don't hesitate to get in touch. Details are in the show notes, or just look me up on social media. And before you leave, make sure you're subscribed to be the first in the know when the next episode's out. Until then, remember, this is your circus, so embrace the chaos and keep juggling. See you next time.